Good day YouTube! In keeping up with the tradition of having at least one pain-inducing boss every single chapter, right? Game Science decided to introduce Yellow Loong in chapter 4. He's a secret optional boss. You can play him once you have the Loong skill and you have tackled and defeated the black, the red and the cyan Loong in the earlier chapters. This guy, right, is designed with just one thing in mind, okay? To give you restless nights and to give you involuntary bowel movement. He's such a difficult guy to beat. And after 30 over tries without even getting close to 25% of his health, I do what any other reasonable gamer would do. I go to YouTube and start to hunt for solutions. Now, a lot of other YouTubers cover, easy guide to beat Yellow Loong and cheesy tactics to beat Yellow Loong. And a lot of them use this thrust stance to try to take him out again and again repetitively. Let me just tell you straight away now, it does not work. Maybe the game has updated in the recent patch or something. You will not be able to hit him consecutively with thrust stance. He will also in the later stages turn into lightning, so you cannot land your attacks. You have to do something else essentially, okay? So I also firmly believe, right, this game is like a form of cultivation for your own personal fighting style. I have my preferred rotations, the preferred spells that I would like to use, and I'm a little stubborn in the sense that I like to stick to them as far as possible and try to tweak to make them work and not to adopt somebody else's style wholesale. So yeah, you can watch my guide, and if my fighting style align with yours, right, I hope this is of educational value to you lah. So okay, let me just run through very quickly my guide on how to defeat him. This is the process, yeah. Now I like to use Red Tide, I like to use Pluck of the Many, and I use Wandering White, and I don't really like to change up all this lah. I also go quite aggro when I go into attack on him, but obviously just sticking to this does not work, right? So I start to tinker around with some of the other attributes to see whether I get some other results. And this is the thing, the change that I made just prior to my winning run. So I think this is a secret formula, and you can try it out and see if it helps you, okay? This is where I realign my sparks right into this particular guy, Rough Full Might. I decide to double down on critical hit damage. And where do I take my sparks from? I got to lift it up from somewhere else, right? So I took out all my sparks from health, which simply because this guy can one-shot you anyway lah. So if I have all full bars here, it really doesn't make a difference. So I took all the sparks out and I put it here. This Ruffle Might is very resource hungry. You need 2 sparks for every single slot. So this is obviously not enough. So where else do I take it out from? Under transformation, I used to have full bar over here. I took them out as well. Simply because this battle is going to be long. If the Red Tide just takes a little bit longer to re-manifest itself, I find that it's okay. I'll just take a time to just chill. This boss also like to walk menacingly towards you, and he doesn't aggro you the way the Yin Tiger does, so I'm not in a hurry for Red Tide to re-manifest itself again, right? And also under the staff stance, Smash is my favorite. I love the fluidity of it, and it does the most amount of damage. And so previously I put in a lot of sparks here under thrust stance because I followed the other YouTuber strategy. I've decided to take out all the sparks, uproot them, and I just leave one here because I still need to use it at the earlier stage of the game. Later I will run through with you in the walkthrough with the battle, right? So I just leave one spark here and I take out all the others, and essentially I put them under Rafu Might. I leave some for Spiritual Awakening lah because I need maximum mana. I want to cast Pluck of the Many at least twice, so I need the mana for the fight to go on. Right, and then last but not least, since we are talking about crit damage and we're going to double down on it, right, let me go to equipment, and under curios I make a change over here as well. I have 3 curios because I defeated the Yin Tiger, so I got the 3rd slot lah. Do make sure you have that, okay? It's very useful. So the first 2 I have epic curios. I'm not going to change it because it's epic, so let's just keep it there. Now the 3rd one I used to have Tridashna Pendant because you know, cooling down of spells is useful in any context, so I just like to have that in my previous fights. But in this case, since we are going with the concept of critical hit damage, right, I decided to replace that with the Beast Buddha. Under medication, you can also look into Tiger subduing pellets and stuff lah, but I didn't really use medication for this particular fight. So I think that's all for in terms of build and equipment. Without further ado, let us now go into the battle. It is going to be 5 minutes long, so bear with me as I go through every single detail of how I take this guy down. Okay, let's commence with the fight with Yellow Loong. My rotation is as such lah. Usually, I will start off with the Red Tide to fight him because I want the Red Tide to re-manifest itself as soon as possible. So make sure you transform into Red Tide at the correct distance away from him so you don't aggro him. He will do his usual 1 surge attack, 1 360 attack, avoid these 2 attacks, and then after that, hit him with a lot of light attacks. Watch your power bar very carefully. Once it's ready, don't waste any more light attacks. Go in with a power move, front, roll dodge, and then heavy attack. If you are lucky, you may be able to land 2 of these power moves during this first transformation. If not, 1 is fine. Then follow up with an attack from the Wandering White. Take a distance from him, he will start to attack you, and then you should learn how to avoid his moves soon enough. Like if you have played 30 overtimes with him, you will know his attacks well enough. Okay, at this stage now, right, use the Trust stance to land cheap attacks on him. 3 focal point, attack him, but do not do it consecutively like what the other YouTubers tell you. It will not work. If you do it the second time round, right, he will attack and interrupt your thrust stance. So wait for him to do his attack, avoid them easily, roll dodge forward, and then after that you can repeat your thrust stance heavy attack again with 3 focal points. Do this for 3 or 4 times with the purpose of reducing his health down to 75%. Okay, this is the stage where you need to be a little bit patient. See, I'm waiting for him to attack again because there's no point doing the same thing. He will interrupt my attack. Front roll dodge, avoid his 360 attack, and then here I am again charging up my thrust stance. Let's wait for it to happen. You can attempt to run through this rotation the 4th time but I decided not to. I go into my Pluck of the Many. You can consume your Tiger Subduing Pellets to up your attack power, and then go in just aggro, change back to your smash stance, and then build up your focal point and land as many heavy attacks as you can. What you want to do, right, at this stage is to try to reduce his health down to 50%. That's the sole purpose of this Pluck of the Many. Flood him with monkeys, attack him, stagger him non-stop, don't give him a breathing space. And once his health goes down to 50%, he will start to use his power move. This dig move, right, is extremely difficult to avoid. Don't bother even trying. Go into your Cloud Step move and stay as far away as possible. The number of times that he attack, right, varies. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 6. I've just lost count. So essentially, I will just stay in Cloud Step. And then after that, after his 6th or 7th attack, when his lightning form disappears, I will attack him with my Cloud Step, the Unveiling Strike, and then now I will keep my distance and attempt to avoid his attacks. And even if he land a few attacks, it's fine, right? Consume your health potion because that will give you your mana back, and you need that for your second Pluck of the Many. This is very crucial. Okay, this is the very uncomfortable phase where you have to wait for your red tide to remanifest itself, right? Learn to be patient and don't aggro him. Just avoid him. Try not to use any other spell because you need to conserve your mana for your Pluck of the Many. Okay, you should be quite familiar with his attacks by now. And then just a little bit more and your red tide should be ready. I made a mistake here by being too impatient and using my Wind Tamer Vessel. What I should have done is to conserve the Wind Tamer Vessel for the Pluck of the Many because that will up your attack and it will stun him momentarily. But never mind, let's continue. Here I am, roll dodging, and then my red tide is ready. Okay, so the purpose of this second red tide, right, is to get his health down to 25 and 30%. So I'm using the same strategy, something that I'm familiar with, which is why I always stick to red tide and not any other transformation mode. Light attack, land 1 of the power heavy attack if I can, front, roll dodge, and then press the heavy attack button. And here it goes. Right? Sometimes it's a little difficult to execute, but once you get it, you will stagger him and he'll be in his burning mode. So look at Yellow Loong's health right now. This is where I will use Pluck of the Many. He still have quite a bit of a health bar left, right? But I'm able to take out all his remaining health using this Pluck of the Many. So you can see, aggro, go in, smash stance, light attack, heavy attack, just keep spamming. Watch your focal points and try to land all the 3 focal point attacks. Once down to 25%, right, Yellow Loong will go into Mike Tyson mode. He'll turn into his lightning form and he'll do a lot of damage. So just circle around him to avoid his main attacks, and his attacks will land on your monkeys instead of you. Now you see that I have 3 focal points. I'm trying to build up to the 4th one, and I'll go in for that super final power attack. Beautiful, and game over for him. To be honest, right, like my previous battles with the White Clad Noble, the Tiger Vanguard, the Yin Tiger, and now the Yellow Loong, I wasn't even aware that that was going to be the finishing move. To be fair, I wasn't looking at his health bar. I'm looking at a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm looking at my own health. I'm looking at the fact that I'm trying to avoid my his attacks so that they don't land on me. I'm also trying to keep a third eye, Erlang Shen style, on my focal points. So hopefully this strategy is something that you can adopt. It is also something that is maybe perhaps close to your fighting style and your preferred rotation and set of spells. So I hope you have good endeavors in your fight against this bloody motherfucker. It's really, really difficult. Yeah, good luck, and I see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.